Okay. Um, good morning again to everyone. I'm Richard Chambers, the founder and CEO of ChamberTech. I'm calling from a slightly rainy Kew in Richmond this morning. Um, and over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how we will improve outcomes for patients going into hospital for atrial fibrillation procedures. So atrial fibrillation, or AFib, as I'll label it throughout this presentation, is growing fast thanks to westernized lifestyles and improved detection. So to summarize, our approach is the world's first one-step hybrid ablation system treating the inside and the outside of the heart in a single minimally invasive procedure. That won't mean very much right now, but hopefully at the end it will mean a lot more. Right now, we're raising 250K to complete our preclinical work, getting ready for first-in-human trials. We already have 200K committed and seeking the final 50K to close this round. And thanks again to OTS-EIS for leading this particular round. And of course, we will welcome additional participation over and above. So AFib is a growing market driven by rising cases and rapid adoption of pulsed field ablation, which again I'll come on to a bit later. 10% of the over 65s are affected by AFib, yet most are managed with drugs, and only a very small fraction are offered a curative procedure. So 500,000 AFib ablations are performed per year globally. £5,000 is spent on single-use therapy devices, creating this £2.5 billion market, which is growing at 15%. But here lies the problem. 30% of all of these ablations are actually repeat procedures. So patients coming in for a second, third, sometimes even fourth attempt to get cured. Proof that the current approach isn't good enough, opening the door for a more effective solution. So today, persistent AFib patients choose between three imperfect options. One, surgery, very effective, but highly invasive and costly. It requires general anesthesia, large holes between the ribs to get access to the heart. They have to deflate lungs to get access to all sides of the heart, and it's all very invasive. Second option is catheter ablation. So catheter ablation actually came after surgery, where electrophysiologists attempted to replicate what the surgeons were doing by putting catheters on the inside of the heart to deliver the therapy. But although much safer, it's actually only 50% effective, but it can be done under local anesthetic and a lot more efficient for the hospitals. The third option is a sort of emerging space, is called a hybrid ablation. This improves outcomes, but must be performed as two separate procedures. Surgery first, again, the cardiologist does his bit on the outside. That same patient comes back a few weeks later for the electrophysiologist to do their bit on the inside. It is a superior approach, but naturally the cost and the risk is dramatically bolstered by combining those two approaches. So our value is to deliver the 80% outcomes, but with a one-step hybrid catheter ablation procedure, faster, safer, and more effective, the experience patients and clinicians want. So most procedures today are catheter-based, catheter ablation-based, representing 90% of the market, and is just saturated with competition. Surgery forms about 5% of the market and is also well served by large companies. Interestingly, hybrid is this, as I say, the emerging space, currently dominated really by one company called AtriCure, who do push a technique that requires two separate procedures, and their tool is only actually applicable to the outside of the heart aspect of it. They don't have a solution for the inside. So we plan to unlock hybrid for mainstream adoption by making it one procedure, not two. So our solution has four key unique selling points. We use two catheters in the same procedure, one inside of the heart, one outside of the heart, and they line up together to create full thickness therapy. So this hasn't been done before, as the rest of the market typically use just one catheter on the inside of the heart. Now it starts to get a bit more fun. These two catheters are magnetically aligned, so they naturally pull together and give very precise tissue contact. Again, no other ablation catheter companies doing this commercially. We use optimized electrodes to minimize blood trauma and to deliver therapy more effectively. We're also using a cutting-edge energy modality called pulsed field ablation. This is a non-thermal therapy approach which significantly improves the safety profile compared with older thermal technologies. Furthermore, we provide a multi-shaped catheter head, so the operator can actually complete the entire procedure without pulling devices out of the patient and putting new ones in with different shapes. So we spent a lot of time working on the mechanism for that. So in short, we're aiming for a faster, safer, and more effective solution. So ChamberTech was kickstarted. We were awarded £1 million Innovate UK grant in June 2024, plus £30,000 of non-dilutive cash from Innovate CPI in February 2025. So far, we've raised 600k from angels, which includes OTS, EIS, doctors, and high net worth backers. I also spotted a couple of my existing investors on this call, so it's lovely to see those faces finally. And for this bridge, as I mentioned, 200k is already in and committed, and today we're looking to close that final 50k. So the team. Our team is built, and we've previously launched AFib technologies before. I have 16 years of industry experience and previously launched a diagnostic AFib device across Europe and the US. I took that device from preclinical to commercial markings, and I held various director roles within that company. A bit of extracurricular, I'm fairly competitive with having represented Oxford in the reserve boat race 2007. Our Chief Technology Officer, Sean Holden, has 20 years of cath lab experience and plenty of AFib industry knowledge from working at Abbott. Our Chief Medical Officer is Dr. John Silva, who's based in Brighton. He's a key opinion leader in epicardial ablation, so ablating again on the inside and the outside of the heart. And Dr. Silva continues to invest large chunks of his non-clinical time to support our preclinical work. The rest of the team, including the advisory board and steering committee, have decades of experience in this relatively niche field. And we are headquartered at the London Institute for Healthcare Engineering, which is just adjacent to St Thomas's Hospital. We've made strong progress towards a commercially ready catheter. Our design is finalised and ready for manufacturing. Our first preclinical study at Charles University in the Czech Republic hit all objectives, again performed by Dr. Silberbauer. We've had 5 abstracts accepted at academic conferences supporting our clinical approach, and our quality management system is in place in preparation for ISO 13485 certification. This 250k bridge completes our preclinical phase and all gears up for our first in human study in early 2027. So middle of next year, another 500k raise at a high valuation will fund our first 3 to 5 patients and again push the valuation up, which is then we'll approach aim for a seed round of around 3 million to complete that first 30 patient first in human trial. Now those 30 patients will fuel our CE marking study submission for 2028, which will be 60 patients. Again, that would be coinciding with the Series A, and then the data from those 60 patients from the CE trial is where we'll approach the FDA for our pivotal trial submission. That will be 120 patients in 2029. Again, overlapping with the Series B as we start to gear up for commercial. So on commercials, we do plan to start commercial sales in Europe in 2030 and adding USA in 2031. We'll lean on our existing EU and US networks that I built at my previous company, targeting a realistic 4% market share by year 5, and that should exceed £100 million in revenue in the 5th year. So what could a £10,000 investment return in 5 to 10 years' time? Category predicates have seen strong exits. For example, Farapulse and Afera. On our current pre-seed valuation at 6.7 million pre-money, a 10K ticket could return material multiples over 5 to 10 years. These are estimates, not guarantees, but they show the category potential when efficacy and adoptability converge. So to summarize, AFib is large and growing. We're bringing a one-step hybrid solution to deliver surgical-like outcomes in a single catheter-based procedure. We finalized the design, shown early preclinical success, and built an ISO 13485 ready quality management system. We're raising 250K to finish the preclinical phase. Again, 200K is already in and 50K is left to close. And we're happy to accommodate additional interest, with thanks to OTS EIS for leading this round with 70,000. Thank you for your time and look forward to further questions.